Hi, I'm Jonathan Serrano at the Holyoke Boys and Girls Club, and today we'll be interviewing the Chief of Police. How are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you for having me here today, Jonathan. It's a pleasure to be at the Boys and Girls Club. I'm happy to come in and talk about my role in the police department and the police department's role in the city.
How do you feel being Chief of Police?
How do I feel? I feel great. It's a great job. It's one of the best jobs going. I have a tremendous responsibility, but I have 120 men and women working hard every day to make the city safe. And there are challenges in the city, but those challenges are opportunities. And we're looking forward to the future of Holyoke, and we're working hard every day to make sure the city is safe.
Did you always know this is what you wanted to do?
Pretty much. Ever since I was a young child, I wanted to get involved in police work. Granted, years ago, when I was in grade school and elementary school, I thought police work was all about chasing bad guys and cops and robbers, and that's part of it. But that's only one piece of it. It's much more involved than that. It's about really helping improve mankind, helping improve your neighborhood, helping improve your city for a better tomorrow. And that's the beauty of police. It gives us an opportunity to help improve.
How many years were you a police officer before you became Chief of Police?
I was a police officer for 27 years before I became chief. I was a police officer in New Hampshire for 2 years. I graduated from college and walked into a job in a small town in New Hampshire. I worked there for 2 years, and then I went to my hometown in Manchester, Connecticut, where I was a police officer for 25 years. And then 2 years ago, the city of Holyoke hired me, and I've been here for the last 2.
What role do you play in the community being Chief of Police?
Well, my primary responsibility is to direct the resources of the police department, to make sure the city is safe, to make sure that it's good for the community, for our citizens and our businesses, to help the city thrive, to help make it a safe environment, a place where people want to raise their family, a place for people to go to school, and a place to retire and businesses to thrive. So in that, I try to get out in the community and interact with them, as do my officers. And again, what we're all working towards is improving the city.
Describe a memorable experience that you have had on the job.
I've had a number of experiences. Some of them real positive, and a couple of them negative because of violent crime. A positive that I can think of was many years ago, I was working the midnight shift, and a call came in for a woman giving birth. And the radio call came in, and I was on some side street in the middle of nowhere, and guess what? I was right in front of the house. I'm like, oh, boy. So, I go running in there, and I go into the house, and the husband's there. He doesn't know what to do. His wife's in labor, and the dog's actually running around in circles, yapping, biting at its tail and yapping. I'm like, let's get rid of the dog first. Put the dog in the basement, and I'm scratching my head going, I've never helped deliver a baby before. We've had some first aid. So then I started thinking, boil some sheets or something, but that's not what we did. I had her lay down, and we processed with the delivery of the child. And just as the child was, as I was helping deliver the baby, the paramedics arrived on the scene. And then in essence, I was there helping the baby be delivered. And then as the baby was finally delivered, the paramedics just arrived on the scene. And beautiful child, great family, and that was a real memorable experience.
What was a great experience? What would you have done if you had to become a police officer?
Well, when I started college, I started off as a phys ed major, and I thinking that I would be a physical education teacher. But again, police work had always been what I wanted to do, and then I was trying to decide, is that where I'm really going to go or not? And then shortly then into my college experience, I said, yes, I wanted to do that since I was younger. Let me go do that. And that's where I switched gears in college, and then went on and got a degree in criminal justice to become a police officer.
How dangerous is police work?
Some days it's very dangerous. Other days it's not. People today ask me what I do for a living. Because I'm a police chief, I tell them I drive a desk. In that, I spend a lot of time in the office. I have a lot of reports I have to do, review, and reports I have to make. But every day I have my officers out in the streets working very hard. And some days that's very risky. And you know that unfortunately there are some bad people in the world that really probably belong in jail, and that's where the risk factor comes into my office.
What is a typical day like?
My typical day, or the typical day of a police officer. My typical day, I guess, Jonathan, would be I come into the office, I get my coffee, turn on the computer, I answer about 100 emails. I go into my in basket, which is a stacked high with paperwork, correspondence that's come over from the city hall, correspondence that's come from my captains and my lieutenants, my sergeants, reports that have to be reviewed, issues that sometimes arise. We're looking at crime trends and patterns, where to redeploy resources. Then usually I have to return a couple phone calls, and then people can start coming in with different issues that they may have. And then we have to schedule meetings, and we have to have negotiations on whether it be contractual obligations. The day will progress, and then I'll have to go out and meet with particular groups to talk about what's going on in the neighborhood. And then a lot of times during the week at night, I'll get asked to come to a meeting to meet with a particular group to find out what's going on. Sometimes I'll go before the city council and talk to them because they'll have some concerns about the police department. And then I'll take in meetings with the mayor, and then I'll meet with other department heads like the fire department, and we'll discuss some of the issues that are going on in the city. And then we try to look what's coming down the road next week, next month, next year, and plan accordingly and put our resources in. That's how my day goes. Every day, 6, 7 days every week. My days are very, very busy. Patrol officers, they come in, they go to roll call, they get the keys, they get updated on anything that's been happening in the city, and then they go out and hit the streets. When they go out and hit the streets, they're answering calls for service. Could be a motor vehicle accident, could be a domestic, could be a break-in somewhere. And they go off and they handle those calls for service. Then they try to get out and interact a little bit with the community, find out what's going on. That's typically how the day goes.
What do you like most about your job?
The opportunity to help people. Every day I come in with something different. Every day I get to do my part to try and improve the world. And to me, that's a great thing when you get a chance to really make a positive impact on people's lives.
These are great answers. Now for some lighter questions. What's your favorite food?
Probably spaghetti. I'm a big pasta fan.
What did you like to do as a kid growing up?
I was a big soccer fan growing up. I played it most of my life. Actually, I was able to pass that on to one of my 3 children who plays soccer at a Division I college now on a scholarship. He does very well. So I have a love for the game of soccer. I spent a lot of time doing that, and I was able to pass it on to one of my children.
What was your favorite team in soccer?
Well, back in the day, he came to the United States late in his career. But Pele was playing for the New York Cosmos way back in the day. Pele was the man. Today, I'd have to say my favorite team is my daughter's college team, which is St. Peter's University down in New Jersey.
What are your favorite hobbies?
Making sure my kids are doing okay, going to their different sporting events. My youngest daughter does some cross country and does dance. I have to go watch some of that. She plays a little bit in soccer. I certainly go to my other daughter's soccer games. My oldest daughter just recently graduated from my college, so I want to make sure she's all squared away. She's gone off into the military, and so we stay in touch. Certainly have to work around the house, help people in the house. I like to exercise a little bit, and then spend some time with my wife. And then my job occupies pretty much most of my other time.
Being from Connecticut, what brought you to Holyoke?
I had reached the second in command for the Manchester Police Department, and the chief of police there was going to be there for many more years. So there was nowhere higher for me to go in that agency. So I went looking for a police chief. And Holyoke came up on the radar, and kind of how I ended up.
How has the community embraced you?
Very well. They've welcomed me with opening arms. One of the things I find unique about Holyoke that I haven't seen anywhere else I've been in my life is there's there's this sense of enthusiasm by really diehard Holyoke. And there's a great sense of community working hard. So you have many people in the community working to improve the situation in the Holyoke for tomorrow. And I haven't seen that type of enthusiasm anywhere. And it really is a fantastic.
Thank you for all the answers. That's all we have for today.
Jonathan, thank you for having me here today, and it's been a pleasure to be here and be interviewed. Thank you.